of all, I'd like to thank our fans for providing us tonight with a regional-type atmosphere. It was definitely an electric crowd tonight, so just want to thank all of our fans for being here and supporting our team tonight. And, needless to say, I mean, I don't know if I could be more proud, first of all, of my pitching staff. And you look at what Jake Higginbotham did. Ryan Miller and Carson Spires, Miller and Spires, didn't have a whole lot in the tank. And, in the second inning, we get a big 4-6-3 double play. First and third with one out by Higginbotham. In the fourth, Higgy did a great job of only giving up one run on a leadoff error, and then, Applin follows it up with a double down the left field line. So it's error, double, one run in. We don't give up anything else after that. In the fourth inning, for him to be able to pitch his way out of damage. We call that damage control in our program. He did an unbelievable job there. In the fifth, we had some tough plays. I felt like Wilkie did the right thing on the sacrifice bunt that stayed in the dirt of trying to play. We talk about playing to win and being aggressive and trying to get the lead out, and just threw it away. And then the one play with the ball rolling down the line, we should have been more aggressive to the ball immediately. We could have gotten that out, but we didn't, and it put us behind. We made 4 errors tonight, and into one inning we gave up the big inning there. Just where we didn't do a good enough job of catching and throwing the baseball, but our guys stayed calm. We kept making pitches. In the seventh, we had bases loaded, one out. Ryan Miller gets back-to-back strikeouts, 2 strikeouts with the bases loaded with one out. And then in the eighth, Spires got a huge 5-4-3 double play. Sam Hall made the play of the day. Had the winning run at first base. Ball was drilled to left center field. This is a kid that hadn't played very much outfield in his career, period. And for him to make that type of play just shows why he's in the lineup every day and what kind of athlete he is. It's a special play. Logan had a big 2-run homer for us in the third. Wilkie's at bat in the seventh, 2 strikes on him, single up the middle. Seth, 2 strikes on him, hit a home run to the opposite field to tie it. And then, Jordan Green came off the bench with a huge, obviously a walk-off homer. Stood and looked at it probably a little bit too long. We all want to admire our work, but that's I'm a little bit old school. I want our guys to have fun, stay loose, and enjoy the moment. But that might have been a little bit too much, so I do apologize to the baseball purists who were watching on ESPN. But, Jordan's a kid that's in the 3rd year in our program. He's played a lot of baseball for us. And he came up with the biggest at-bat of the year. I mean, that's the biggest at-bat of the year for us up to this point. And just proud of our guys for their efforts. We pitched extremely well. We had one inning where we didn't do a good enough job of catching and throwing the baseball, but made some nice plays and obviously came up with some huge hits and some huge moments. So came from behind, won the series, obviously in dramatic fashion, and very, very proud of our team.
Saturday night was such a heartbreaking loss in 13 innings. To come back from that on Sunday and then to come back from 4-2 tonight, what did you say about the resilience of this team?
Well, we talk an awful lot about just competing every pitch. Toughness is a big part of our program. We try to build a blue-collar culture within our team, within the weight room and how we practice, the pace in which we practice. And, that toughness shows up. And I think our guys believed that we were going to win this game. I think that was the bottom line, is we felt like we were the better team tonight at home and that we were going to win this game. With the way that we were pitching, the way we've been swinging the bat, we felt like, especially pitching out of jam after jam after jam, we keep pitching like this. It's just a matter of getting a couple guys on base and somebody's going to do something big. And, Seth, obviously, with the big homer late to tie it, and then Jordan, got his opportunity in the ninth and walked it off. But, just can't say enough about our team, how selfless they are, how hard we competed, and, found a way to get it done.
Coach, the move in the seventh there when you brought Green in and you moved Sam out to left, talk about how much that paid off, obviously, because those 2 guys make the play. Was that move that kind of led to them doing that?
Well, we just felt like the right move when they brought Kwiatkowski in, the lefty in. We felt like when we got back to that spot, that we needed to bring Jordan in. You know, we're a little bit banged up right now. We've got, had Kier out and Tio out. So, we didn't have a lot of moves to make, but that was a move that we were ready to make in case they brought the lefty in, that we would bring Green into that spot. And we feel good about playing Jordan at second base. He's played a lot of second base for us, and we know that Sam Hall is as athletic as he is, can play really anywhere on the field, even though he has limited experience in left. We felt good about the defensive situation that we put ourselves in there by putting Green in the game, and we felt good about the offensive move there as well. So, overall, it just worked out for us.
I wanted to see how you would respond mentally after the errors, after everything that was going on with the umpires, which you can't talk about. Are you proud of your team for the way that they kind of put all that in the background and then just kept fighting? Well,
we talk a lot about, just moving on from it. Again, if you look back at the mistakes that you've already made, it's only going to cause you frustration. Any mistake that you make, error you make, whatever the case may be, if you dwell on it, you're frustrated. Well, you can't play the game of baseball frustrated. Bottom line, nobody plays good baseball when they're frustrated and ticked off. Based on mistakes or a bad at bat or an error. So dwelling on errors is extremely counterproductive for a baseball team. You have to move on from it. The worst thing that a player can do is get frustrated by a bad at bat or an error and continue to carry that on his shoulders. You got to be able to move on from it. And I thought our guys did a great job of not letting the one inning where we threw the ball around a little bit get to us. I mean, we could have spiraled out of control, but again, you got guys like Logan on the field. You got guys like Wilkie and Cromwell and Williams and Wharton and Beer. I mean, you've got older players everywhere, and they've been in those situations before, and they know how to handle it. Talk about Higginbotham. Higginbotham didn't let anything bother him tonight. When he could have really gotten frustrated with how well he was pitching, he pitched as good as he could have pitched. And those guys didn't let those situations bother them at all, and that's just a sign of maturity and toughness in our ball club to stay calm, stay collected, and stay confident in those situations.
Nothing new, but how much do you marvel at Seth's ability to perform in the clutch? He had 2 opportunities with him, and he comes through with the second one.
Well, he's done it time and time again. I mean, again, in 3 years that I've been with Seth, I'm running out of fingers to count the big home runs that he's hit in big situations. I mean, anytime I talk to scouts or I talk to people about Seth Beer, I mean, the legend of Seth Beer, what is the legend of Seth Beer? Legend of Seth Beer is how many clutch home runs has he hit in his career? I mean, he's hit, time after time after time after time when we desperately needed a big at bat. He gives us one. So, again, it's just a testament to his ability to just, he says he's almost like he's underwater in those high-pressure situations, and I think that's a really cool way of explaining it. He just has a knack for just zoning everything out and locking in and getting a good pitch to hit and obviously hitting it pretty hard.
When that ball came off the bat, did you think Sam, from your vantage point, had a shot at it?
I thought he had it all the way. I'll talk a little bit about that play. We're in no doubles defense right there because the winning run's sitting at first base, so we're playing extremely deep. And we're also taking away the gaps, because more doubles are hitting the gaps. Extra base hits are hitting the gaps. Then down the line with Raleigh at first base, we knew that we could give them the line because if a ball was hit towards the line, we felt like we'd be able to get to the ball and have a play at the plate. Whereas if a ball's hit in the gaps, it's going to be a little bit easier for Raleigh to be able to score. So we had him in the gap already, but that ball was absolutely drilled. And for him to have no fear whatsoever of the hill or the wall says a lot about Sam Hall. I mean, he ran full speed up the hill, made a catch. Just an unbelievable play, as athletic a play as I've seen this year. Is just unbelievable.
Coach, what does it say about Jordan that he played a lot for you last year, has had more of a part-time role, I guess, this year? Anytime you call his number, he brings energy, makes things happen for you.
Yeah, he has. He certainly has. I mean, Jordan didn't play a lot for us early in the year, and we kind of inserted him around that Louisville series. He had a really good weekend at Louisville, had a really good weekend at Notre Dame. He's had some really good at-bats for us. He's a veteran player, and he has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. That's the kind of player he is, and I actually like that about him. He thinks he should be in there every day, and he don't like it when he's not playing. So I think when he gets those opportunities, you know, he wants to prove to everybody that I should be in there on a regular basis. And quite frankly, that's what you want with players who aren't playing every day for you. You want guys that are pitching for you to want more innings. You want guys that aren't playing every day for you. When I get my opportunities, I'm going to show this guy that he needs to keep me in the lineup. It's what Sam Hall did. You know, why Sam Hall in the lineup? Guy had one at bat going into the Presbyterian game. We put him in the game because of an injury. He ain't come out since. And it's because he wants to show that he deserves to be in the lineup every day by how hard he plays and how good he plays. And Jordan's one of those kids that, you know, when we call upon him, it's tough for me to take him out. First of all, because he's played a lot of baseball for us. But, you know, there's times where, you know, we got to make changes just based on production. And, you know, he got his opportunity to get back in there tonight. And, you know, obviously, again, it was just a huge at-bat. It says a lot about Jordan, his maturity, him always being ready for the opportunity to get in there. And, you know, certainly deserves to be in there again based on what he did tonight for us. Again, is a huge win for us, and he's the reason that we did it.
I know you said going into the series there was going to be a lot of baseball left after this, but you guys have won 10 of 11 now. With a couple weeks left, you have to like where you guys are at this point.
We just talk about being consistent every day, you know, just having the same approach every single day. And I think the consistency and the routines that we're trying to create for our players on a regular basis, them knowing, you know, kind of what we're going to do every day and knowing what the expectations are for that day, for pregame activities. And I think the more structure and the more consistency you can have for your team, especially this time of year. You know, some people think you play your best baseball when school is out. When school is out is when I worry the most, because guys want to sleep all day and, you know, they're just as laid back as you possibly can be, you know, this time of year. They got nothing to worry about whatsoever. So as a coach, I worry a little bit more about when they have a lot of time on their hands. So we try to make sure that we're as structured as we can be for them this time of year. And